All right, Fivves. As I said, man, it is actually good to see you. Before I ask you this question, but while we do, tell me what's going on, man. How's it been going since California, or since I seen you in
Yeah,
Sacramento with the event?
yeah, indeed. It's been not too long, but yeah, good to see you again. Thank you for being or for having me here.
Always.
Yeah, it's been a while to be honest. Coming back after a cool road trip I did with Rex. Um, a lot of stuff changed for me. Most of the people probably are familiar with it. I basically quit and end ATSB at least for now. So everyone on the team left and is up for other teams. And I joined the NSL, so I'm now officially in the organization. I'm not playing any tournaments in 2023, so it still breaks my heart to not being able to play tournaments. But yeah, then you will find me probably on every big NSL event in the EU and in the US. So I think I'm gonna see you in January.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. So if you could, how much detail do you want to give me? What's going on? I mean, that's how I know you is ATSB fives, you know. So,
Yeah,
um,
that probably most people know me like that.
yeah, so that's a big change like that. I mean, it really is. I'm probably gonna still rock your sticker from ATSB, but
I appreciate that.
so
Um,
what team are you gonna walk into? You said you're not playing in 2023 at all, and so you're not playing any
I'm
NSL events at all.
no. Basically, I will stay solo for now. Of course, I'm gonna play pickups at Real Strike Arena, and if there's a fun tournament around, we're gonna maybe find a team or like some also random players to form a team for that specific event. But indeed, for all the big NSL tournaments, I'm not able to play. I basically will join Bird as the host of all the NSL events and also doing a lot of background work. So I've been super busy for the last 2 weeks to get everything out and sorted with the dates. And yeah, indeed, that it's my new hobby basically. So I'm not quitting playing completely, of course, but it will be different and less grindy than it was the last years.
Well, I'm certainly glad that you're still going to be involved in, but I gotta say, man, that's a bummer. Like that's a bummer. I know
Yeah,
you're sick about it. I know you are. I mean, I don't want to dwell in it or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm
no, no,
just like
no,
I,
it's
I
it's
didn't
okay.
I didn't expect to hear that coming. You know what I mean? I mean, seeing you play out there at Sacramento, I never thought. I don't want to hear anybody say they're too big to get behind one of them things because as tall as you are, you still played that home position so well, and like just watching that situation, um, and I don't get to see it at all in 2023. That's because we was looking forward to playing y'all. I'm just saying, just
Yeah,
saying.
unfortunately, not gonna happen. At least not in a tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, people might not know, but I've been around with the organization. I was one of the core board members that we had with the NSL this year, and so I was also already a driving force behind the format that we all now, and yeah, that kind of lead into to the thing. And I had a long conversation with Bird and basically asked him, okay, where do you want to see me or where do you need me? And he was honest and he said, yeah, I would love to have your full focus on the NSL and on organization stuff. And yeah, to me it kind of clicked. And yes, it hurts, but it's also a big chance of getting more involved with the game, building connections alongside it. And one thing that I really appreciate, like the moment we announced that ATSB is like dropping out, and it was not clear what I'm gonna do, I received so many messages. I received like I'm not kidding, but over like 10 messages or so from teams from where I live, but also from Spain and Italy, just asking if I could imagine myself helping them out for tournaments and that I'm welcome. And all
I was
that.
gonna say
So,
somebody gonna try to recruit you quick. I was
well,
thinking.
yeah, it really felt like people know or value what I did. So I think that made it a little bit easier, knowing that if I want to come back, there's always someone that will pick me up, and that there's a team that well, where I can play.
Shoot, I can only hope there's teams out there that would do the same for me. I would hope. Um, I mean, it's NSL. I mean, it's becoming real. I mean, I know with our recent travels over there to Sacramento, all the whispers and that y'all been working on this for a while. We've been talking about this for a while.
Hmm.
And it's really cool to it no longer went from a whisper. Now you see it actually snowballing and to where we are now, and to think of these conversations from the recent times up to the point is I got it on my calendar soon to be I get to go. I get to go to compete in one of these. No longer is it the Sacramento trip where I get to go observe this. I get to go play. My team, we went up to this recent practice with it. It was really neat.
Hmm.
It was really nice. Got to see Adam and play it, and it's no joke. It's no joke. When you're sitting there trying, you got to really strategize. You got to really think. You really do. So I really like
And
it though.
that's training. Imagine how it's in the tournament when something is on the line, or when the win of the game can be in your hands, having the flag or looking for that snatch or something. That really kicks in different, I think.
That's true. Um, I'm so looking forward to it, man. I mean, I know as we talked with this before, I know there's other events that's going to happen next year. I don't want to say anything because I don't know any enough on it for dates and things like this and all locations. But I think 2023's got you know pretty good little package in store for us for this. I think some players are going to I know for us, man, as our team, we had to really get on a meeting and get crunched down. Like, hey, man, are we going to commit to this? Are we going to do this? Because this is big boy stuff. You know what I mean? It's no longer this little TDM.
Exactly.
We started talking about numbers because this is a thing where you know money's going to start coming in there too. So things we're going to work on, places that we need to schedule, a little bit different opposed to driving just a couple hours away and make it back in the same day kind of thing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that is still a thing that is for me like comes with the nature of a tournament. Honestly, like we are doing that for years now, a 2 days events. But for you, it's still a little bit new, I think, and for most teams in the US. But once you dig it and you understand it, then you really really appreciate it. Um, I mean, you get so many game time out of those events. We even offer the Friday for pickups, so that's also included in the ticket price. And yeah, it's basically a weekend, 2 or 3 days full of airsoft, full of speed soft.
I,
No, you let's go
it,
on.
yeah, it's me. I'm still here though.
Yeah.
I know, man. I mean, we just doing the practice over the weekend went pretty. I mean, it wasn't even that, like you said, man. When you were really standing there and why is this thing not want to work? Standing there, in the tournament itself. I mean, I know for us, every time we go to a tournament, the pressure's on. It's a tournament.
Hmm.
We want to be able to come in here and we want to be coming in to win this. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's gonna be intense in January, that's for sure. So, Rex, okay, you said you went on a trip right after California. Tell me about it.
Yes.
I gotta know about this. We ain't gotta just talk airsoft. We can be homies too.
Yeah,
Tell me about your life. What happened after California? The trip you took.
that was a crazy time. Like I enjoyed every day of it. So basically, Rex and I rent a car and we left Sacramento after the tournament on the Monday. We went there for 2 weeks. So on the Saturday, 2 weeks later we flew back. So on the Monday we start driving to Lake Tahoe and did a little hiking trail there. From there we basically yeeted it down to Yosemite for 2 days or 2 nights. Also did hiking there, even in the snow. Like it was basically the first day the snow started falling there, and it was amazing. Like where I live, we get rarely see snow, and same for Rex. So yeah, it was awesome, and we were prepared for the snow. Then we did a trip to Death Valley, Las Vegas. From there, like it was crazy, to see, like the temperature shift in hours, basically. From
I
there to Grand Canyon.
I can see Fivves in Sin City of Las Vegas. That would be a trip. I've never been there, man, so I don't know, but I've always heard that city is just completely wild. I mean, I'm not a
Yeah,
gambling
it's
type, but
crazy.
I would be there for sure.
No, we also didn't do gambling, but just the city itself is like unreal. I know there's even crazier stuff nowadays in like the Middle East, but Las Vegas is the template for it, and it's so surreal. Um, so yeah, from the Grand Canyon, we even did a helo ride there. Cost a ton of money, but was definitely worth the experience. Like it's unbelievable the nature that you guys have in your country. It's like I'm in love with it, and I think everyone is when you are there. So yeah, then we sent it all back like one day full of driving. I think we killed 900 miles on that day from Grand Canyon to Los Angeles. Um, the day there that was pretty cool. We actually had the opportunity to visit Evike and get a full like warehouse office tour with them. So shout out to PCU Tracer for making that possible. That was really impressive. I mean, everyone knows about Amazon having like robots collecting shit and stuff in warehouses, but
Hmm.
seeing that on a company that like makes their money with airsoft is crazy. Like the level of how big you can get is really mind blowing to me. And of course, after that, we went by the HK Army headquarters, so shout out to them as well. Um, we spent basically the whole day and then the evening with those guys. That was amazing trip and amazing experience to get like a look behind the scenes, meeting people there. And I can tell HK is like they keeping their eyes on the NSL, but also on the airsoft scene in general.
Hmm.
So they are very smart and. Yeah, we will see some stuff from them, I'm pretty sure. Um, and after that, we decided to drive up Highway Number One to Monterey, do the 70-mile drive, and visiting the Bay Aquarium. And then we finished our trip for a couple of the remaining days at San Francisco, which is like I've been to San Francisco before, 10 years ago, I think, with my parents. Um, it's a beautiful city, and I mean it's big, like big city, but still has like that village feeling to it. So yeah, it was like an amazing trip. I even have footage of it, like a road trip video without vlogging too much, just showing landscape and stuff. So I'm gonna put that together over the holidays and upload it. Um, yeah, if you ever have the chance, no matter where you're from, like that is it's an insane trip we did there, and I highly recommend every piece of it. It's just a beautiful country there.
I've been just this California trip as far as I've been over there. Did you make snow angels in the snow? Please say you
No,
made
we
snow
are.
angels.
I tried with Rex, but of course he he was not up for it. Well, we know snow, of course, here from Europe, but it's not that we are in a or we specifically live in a snow-rich region. So snow to me is always like nice, and I like adventures in the nature. So that's basically how I started with airsofting, because I always liked being in the nature and like running around in the woods, and so I thought, okay, it would be cool to combine it with like shooting BBs on people, and
Hmm.
that's how it started. Like now 8 years ago, actually.
Time is flying. I'm only 2.5 years in. That's it.
Yeah, We were kind of late starter, but
I
immediately got into the right direction.
I did start out late, uh, but it is what it is. I am where I am now, so it's okay. I'm here now. Oh, trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up with everybody. It's hard to running out here with these little 16-year-olds. Them little things.
Yeah, indeed.
Spunky. Um, so man, you said you were gonna be hosting the rest of the events and stuff like that, right? Make this
Yep.
camera work now. So is what events can you give us? What events do you know of that can speak of for next year?
Well, everything is revealed basically. We
Well,
are.
I'm not sure if what's not. You know what I mean? So, I know the
No,
January
but
obviously because I mean we've been talking about that for a good little while. Um, that's gonna be a lot of traveling for you next year too. Are you gonna hit every one of these?
yeah, I have my schedule here. Um, it's just like everything which is marked as a tournament where I need to go, and like the yellows is the pre-work that needs to be done. So yeah, I'm busy. Luckily, I'm self-employed, and I'm gonna see how it works out with work. But yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, I commit to that next year, so I'm doing that. And that's also a benefit of it, you know. I left a lot behind and not being able to play. But on the other hand, I'm gonna travel to a lot of places, meet a lot of very interesting people, see cool landscape, and yeah, basically catch every glimpse of the NSL everywhere next year. So that itself is also a huge privilege and a little bit of the trade-off of all the work that goes into it.
So, and these are going to be new fields to you, right? Other than Sacramento. These are going to be all brand
Yeah,
new fields to you.
yeah, we have four US fields. So Sacramento, Sac County indeed is one. There, the fourth seeding event of the US will take place, but we will start everything at Shot Zone in January. And then we have, I believe, Extreme Airsoft in Rhode Island. I think it's the third event. And then for the second event, I think it is definitely a CIA at Tampa, but I think it's the second event. So gonna hit those fields. I'm excited to meet all the people and teams there. It's gonna be huge.
I've heard a lot of hype about Rhode Island for sure. CIA looks amazing from what I see on Instagram and stuff, you know, or videos.
I mean, all of the fields look amazing. That's part of the reason why we are there. Like Bird did a huge trip like half a year ago to visit all those locations and see if they fit our needs and if you can get along with each other. And there were also other fields. I'm not saying which there were, but we didn't go everywhere where we could have.
Yeah.
So it shows a lot of like how committed those fields and the communities over there are, and yeah, we cannot wait to see what everyone can bring to the table. Because yes, the launch event was great, but we will see way more teams and all over from the US next year.
I got a feeling. So how about this? What's the goal with next year? When do you think? So let's say kick it off. It's January. We're playing at Shot
Hmm.
Zone. Then we hit up CIA. Then we hit up Rhode Island. Go to we're doing all these events. We get done with this. What's in store in 2024? Are we looking at the same type of thing, or are we looking at that there's possibly that D1 status? Is there a possibility of having a pro status over here? Anything like that to reflect how EU has things? Is that a goal by 2024, 2025?
Well, actually, we have a long time plan for the NSL, and we launched that tier system. That was like step one, basically. So you have different events with a different value to it. You know, it's a different thing if you win a Super Bowl or if you just win a normal league game or something. And we kind of want to recreate that. So if you win an event, but it's like the most local event somewhere in the, I don't know where, it doesn't say much about your abilities and skills. But if you win globals or if you win Nations Cup,
Mm-hmm.
then you are like the best of the best in the world. So we want to break that down to a more regional thing, and that's why we have those seeding tournaments where you can collect points. And I get that the US is pretty big, and I mean, I traveled myself. We drove so many thousand miles there, and still just reached out to a small bit of it. So that's definitely something we have planned for the year after next year to like divide it a little bit more, just based on the size of the US.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we don't know yet how we will do it. Maybe like west east or west mid east, which is more common. But it also depends on the communities, the fields, etc. So that is definitely something we are aiming for at the long term, but it was just not possible to do for next year because have to start somewhere. And so to speak, the US is like 1 year behind development of the EU. We're gonna launch a special league, um, also in the B tier, which is not announced yet in a country in Europe. So it will be exclusive for only that nation to participate. And this will be seen as a pilot project, more or less. So if that like succeed as we want, we can implement that in more countries in Europe, and that's like the equivalent to like having a West, Mid, and East League or conference, whatever you want to call that.
I know a lot of guys who are. I mean, with this whole thing, that's. I mean, how many times we've talked about just getting that competitiveness and I think that's just what a lot of guys are hungry for, things like that. I mean, I know it's hard not to kind of for us to balance it like, hey man, we want to be like how paintball's got. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and that's the way I look at it. It's like, man, that what they got going on is what we want to see going on. You know what I mean? I mean, even Bird himself said it. Eventually, at a point in time in history, getting players paid, where you'd have sponsors behind these guys and things like that, and that's just like when you think about that, and just it could happen in the next couple of years. You know what I mean? You just said something about HK, and I think it's amazing that they're getting involved. I think that's a yeah, that's a big dog you want looking basically at you. You know, you want to catch their attention, and it definitely has. I mean, you know, man, I think this is good. This is gonna be hype, bro. Just trying to envision it for the end of this year. Just like what's 2023 look like, you know? Not just for my own team. Just thinking about this whole thing and all these events that's just gonna happen. Because globals is gonna be hype, bro. Like when you start sticking American teams that like a whole bunch, like I mean, what let's say
Yeah,
5 or 6 of them turn out to be, you know what I mean, out of the 15. Um,
yeah, that is the idea we have. Like all those seeding events, they will lead to the US Championship. So if you win the US Championship, you can crown yourself as the best NSL or Speedsoft team in the
mm-hmm.
US. But of course, it's not just the US, it's
Now you
also
get
the
to
rest of the
yeah,
world you want to
exactly.
compete against. And it is the first globals. We wanted to have globals for so many years now, and then COVID started. So we never really had the chance of like playing against each other
Right.
on a full tournament format where it's not just one team completely stuck in European teams like when SYG came over, or now that we came over with the Monk team. So then it's like equal also on numbers, and I'm pretty sure there will be different approach to the game, different styles of playing, of tactics. So yeah, as I said, the first three of the US Championship, they will get an invitation to the Globals the next year, and the Globals definitely will be played in Europe for next year. Just that we are, just because we are based in Europe, but for 2024, it's definitely a plan to spread it even wider. And I think there's a good chance that we will also have those very high profile ST events, maybe in the US, maybe somewhere else, who knows. And same goes for Nations Cup. That's probably this and globals are the most thrilling events, honestly. Also, I'm pretty sure we're gonna see a US team lining up for Nations Cup representing the US, and that is just amazing. And I said it before, like last or this year, I was playing for Germany, obviously. And when you stand there and the national anthem is played for you, not just because you're in the stadium, but it's played for you, it's complete different. Like, whew,
I can see the excitement on you just
yeah,
thinking
that's
about that.
and being able to give such a cool feeling to everyone with our hobby is really what drives me and what drives everyone in the NSL, and that's basically what we want to create and recreate all over. So yeah, I think Nations Cup is going to be huge, and Global's also going to be spicy as fuck.
Spicy, I love it. Why is it so spicy? I mean, I know this, man. Just thinking of, it's kind of reflecting back to some teams from here. There seems like to be so much interest in it, and teams I've talked to. Some of the guys I got to play with last weekend at Shot Zone for this practice event. The teams picked up on it pretty quick.
Hmm.
Once that comes tournament day, it's gonna be a lot of everything going on. I mean, I'm sure it's
But
gonna be
that
a
is
little bit of
normal. That is normal.
yeah. So I mean, maybe that Friday beforehand, some squads will show up. Maybe try to do something. I think it'll be a little bit hectic, like it was in Sacramento at first. That Saturday was kind of still teams trying to understand it. Even though there was a little bit of a foot up, because I think they was playing a couple of the format a little bit before
Yeah,
Sacramento
they
Super
had
Practice.
those training events as well there. Yeah.
So, uh, most of the teams, I mean, honestly, it's going to pop up in this one are going to, they're going to come in blind, other than what they see from the streams or the rules or anything like that, But until you get out there and start playing it, that clock, and there's, keeping up with everything. There's so much to keep up with. And I was like, man, I didn't want that job. I'm glad I'm not playing captain. Like, I don't want nothing to do with this. We don't have a coach at the moment. We was talking about it. But we do have a new fulfilling captain for this. Leo's been captain because we've had our A and
Hmm.
B thing going on, but we have, completely formed into one. So now it's
Very smart. Very smart. Yeah.
we do got our 10. We got all 10. So and if even if there's something goes on, well, we still got 10. You know what I mean? Like even if we lose, get down to 8 or something like that, just something happened. We have the players for it. And we're blessed on that one. I got to say that. We are blessed for that one to have the numbers. We've already had a pretty large team, anyways. And I know some guys have, turned away from doing this because they didn't have the numbers. Some guys were always 3, 4 deep, and always looking for a guy to pick up, at tournaments and whatnot. And I hate that. But at the same time, there's been a lot of good for it. Teams colliding, two teams joining up. So,
You have to overcome your own how you say it, shadow, or like jump over it.
mhm.
And maybe like there are always like some collabs between teams, and why not combine on the permanent with each other to achieve what you want, because everyone wants to win. And when you like
Mhm.
those guys, you go to restaurant with them, you play pickups with them, just yeah, combine with them and merge with them. And you will see, like, I'm pretty sure PVZ or PVZ will do awesome in January. Also, based on the numbers, like, it allows you for so much more strategy. Also, if you like receive a penalty, it doesn't hit as hard if you are just with 6 guys or 5 guys. So that itself is like a huge deal. Also, injuries, hopefully none
Mhm.
will pick one up, but it can always happen. We saw that many times now. And having like spare players at the same level is so vital, and it's just part of the game now. And we know that teams with not having those extra players will have a harder time. But I think if you like keep losing and you get smashed, or like you lose because you cannot sub someone in even if you're allowed to, we hope that you will review what went wrong and then eventually fix that and pick up more players or merge with another team or join another team. And yeah, that's basically what the community needs. And with the big team, way more is possible because all the weight is on way more shoulders.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, there was never a reason why you want to have more than maybe 6 or 7 team members, really. Only it cost you game time. That's why a lot of big teams had a and B team. But
Mm-hmm.
now, of course, they join up. Like you said, you did it with your team. Second to None did it. Reapers did it. Alpha in Europe did it. So yeah, you will benefit from it. And now there's a reason to have more members. And also, again, you want to attract sponsors. And with a bigger team, it's easier to get more footage out, more content out, to take care about more stuff. It's like a rolling stone, really, that you can trigger with that. And yeah, it just starts about adapting and thinking what is needed.
Hmm. We need a coach. I'm just sitting there thinking of a coach in this situation. Just be kind of nice.
I
So,
mean, that's also a long term goal, I think, to have that standard. But it's hard because people who understand the format and who understand the format better than most others, um, they might be even good players themselves and also being valuable on the field. So I think it will take a couple of more years that we see more coaches doing the stuff. Um, Also, when they might be a little bit too old to play, that they can guide them. But being a coach is a tough job, and especially in a new format and new system like that,
yeah, no doubt.
you have to get the experience first, and then you can adapt.
Yeah, I'd be yelling at. I feel like I'm yelling at my kids. As a coach, I know I would. I'd feel like I'd yell at my kids. Mason, man, he's a good captain, man.
Hmm.
For us, this is new to him as well. But he fits right in. Um, but Mason, which is Spiffy on my team, so
Hmm.
he's acting as captain. Um, but he's got that. He's so much younger than me too, but he's got that driven like leadership kind of thing. Like he's just like, hey, snap out of it, let's go. And for some reason, everybody just listens to him. We're like, all right, bro, you know. Uh, he's a good captain, that's for sure. He gives a damn about the game. So I'm interested in playing with him for this. I'm not sure where I'm going yet. I don't know. I'm okay with
Hmm.
either offense or defense, but I'm
So
leaning
you're gonna
towards more. I want.
split it.
Yeah, we're gonna have an offense and a defense for sure. We may end up intertwining some of them. We're trying to balance it out. We need all of our players there. We had one day with 8 of us, and we need a whole.
Hmm.
For the moment, that's what everybody wants to talk about doing. So we may end up changing that. We may end up having some guys that just stay on the field, some that come off, some move in. We'll see. I don't know. Uh, I kind of lean towards defense. I think I'd rather play defense than offense. I think I'm pretty good about letting you try to push me and pick you off.
Hmm.
um,
But it gets interesting if you need that snatch,
yes,
and if the attackers are not coming
and
because they can.
this is true. And one of the things, man, that's nothing. I gotta brag on my homie Spiffy again, man. He picked up 3, 4 snatches in practice
Hmm.
over the weekend. I'm so proud. That dude, as soon as as soon as the flag drops, once we know where it is, I mean that guy was on it. Spiffy is just on it. Um, so I don't know if it's going to balance out like an A and B kind of thing. I mean, because how we've always played with, we had our A team and our B team, and
Hmm.
these two teams, we have chemistry between each other. You know what I'm saying? How we played and stuff.
Yeah.
And we are going to be breaking that up a little bit. So I'm not. It's not like A is playing, offense, B is playing defense. It's getting mixed a little bit, but uh, I don't know. I may end up on offense at some point. I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Either way,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
whatever
playing
the
it.
team needs.
Yeah, whatever y'all need, just point and I'll shoot.
But that is also like why I love it so much, especially now, and everyone can be like grateful to be in that time. Like who knows, in 3 years, if you're a new team, there's a certain meta set, and right now at the moment, everything is still open to explode and to try out and test and fail and succeed. I think it's a wild time, but you will learn so much from it. And being an OG then of the game in a couple of years, um, I think that is or what I hope that the teams will also see to gain from next year. Even though if they might qualify or if they might fall short, doesn't matter. Just the experience, the mindset that you need for that game. If you understand that next year, you're gonna have a bright future in the upcoming years.
That's a good thought. That's a good thought. So, Rex is Rex gonna play with you? I mean, are y'all thinking about maybe teaming up
He's
on a?
yeah, he joined his old or former team that he kind of left 1.5 year, 2 years ago when COVID started. So they want to make a comeback, but they're all rusted a little bit. So he and
I
oh,
get it.
well, the two of them played for another team very successfully last year. So not everyone is rusted, but like the core of the team is a little bit rusted, and they were
Yeah.
used to be one of the top teams. So it's gonna be interesting to see them performing now with the new meta and adapting to the new format. So yeah, he found a team and will play for them.
So who are we thinking? If you could say, I mean, I know you can't give promises and stuff, but who are you thinking we might see? Because I know there's a lot of guys that didn't get blessed to go to the Sacramento thing, NSL
Hmm.
Dimp, and a lot of you guys that come over here. Is there gonna be any more of y'all? I mean, I know you're coming because you're gonna be at every event. Um,
Actually, no one is coming. That's something that we want to divide. So we said, okay, it was good to set an example with the yeah 2.5 European teams basically we had at Sacramento, but every region we go to with NSL, in this case the US, needs their own heroes, and it's not good or not healthy if we claim to like be the best in Europe or know it better. That's bullshit. We're just lucky that to be a little bit more experienced, and that's something the US teams need to pick up over the next year. But we specifically said, okay, all the six EU events and 4 US events will be exclusive to teams from those regions. We're gonna have the championships, and a European team cannot be the best US team, and a US team cannot be the best European team. It
I'm
just
I'm glad
doesn't
you
make
said that.
sense.
I'm glad you said that. I like that.
And there's also no point of sending like the best EU team over to wipe the floor in the first 2 tournaments or whatever. Like that's not how sports should work. Like we have a system. You qualify for your continental championship. You're gonna be the best three of your continent, and then you're gonna meet at the globals. And there it's showtime. There all the teams have the chance of having a more experience and more game time under their belt. And when it's played there, then you can start arguing, okay, this team is better than this team, or this team did better, or whatever. But before that, we want to separate that, um, not to make any like weird fuck ups or weird statements. Like we are not there to colonize anyone. I think the US has like such a huge scene and so much talent in it. It's just picking up the format, get used to that. That will take time, that's normal. But I bet in 1 year we're gonna sit here by the end of 2023 and the level will be almost equal, when not even equal or better, who knows? And from there on, like the US and the EU scene will be in the same level sorta, and then eventually we have a new region, maybe Asia, maybe Australia, maybe Brazil, South America, to pick that up, and then they have to go through the process that every US team is going through now.
It's cool, man. We're in the um, I don't know, the pre-eruption, you know,
Hmm.
of what's going on. It's kind of interesting. It's just kind of cool. I'm just looking forward to looking where it all goes, man. I mean, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I mean, globals, and you start thinking of the Nations Cup and globals and all that stuff, and I'm the first one to sit here and think, you know, say it. I'm like, I want to go, I want to play, um, but at the end of the day, man, I'm just excited just to play it. Like, you know what I mean? These
Yeah.
events and stuff, man. I get so tickled about just going places and just doing stuff and hanging out with the homies, and you know, I get to shoot people, so that's an extra. Um, it's just cool. Um, you know, what happens happens. We finish out, and I think we'll do okay in shot zone. I think we do pretty.
I'm pretty sure you will do good. Yeah, like
I
I
think we'll
think
do
I don't
good.
know which teams will compete there. I know that like one or two West Coast teams are coming over. At least they said so. They're gonna be tough ones, but I have no idea, to be honest, which teams will be to be expected at the higher end,
Hmm.
just based on the previous performances. So I think it's gonna be wild, and everything is possible. That's also why we moved away from a static like tournament system to a more like appealing and thrilling system. So we have a group stage, depending on the number of teams. Um, so the groups will be either 4, 5, or 6 teams big, and only the top can go to the knockout stage. And knockout stage is single elimination, so you always start with with a quarterfinal, and either you make it or you don't. If you don't, you're out. It's like no mercy. But it's also a huge chance. Like if you have a very good day and the maybe on paper better team has a bad day, you can completely demolish them and don't have to replay them. Like there's no second chance, basically.
Hmm.
I mean, with Nations Cup last year, we did the same. We only had 6 nations, but we did one group stage, and the best 4 went to semifinals. And we trained 2 weeks for the first time with the German team. Of course, we knew each other for a long time, but never really played with each other, and not with NSL. And the training, we played against some guys from like the normal teams, and we got slapped over and over again. Like one or two guys were almost on the edge of saying, "Yeah, that's enough." Like I'm gonna represent my country, and we're gonna get smashed by like some randoms. Like what the fuck? And yeah, everyone had a very not nice feeling. Let's put it like that. And the tournament started. We had a close game, but lost to Belgium.
Mm.
It's always not good to start a tournament with a loss. But in that game, it kind of clicked. Like everyone understood what we needed to execute, and from there on, we went flawless through the group stage, and then knock out the Netherlands in the semifinals again. And then we were only stopped by Belgium in the finals, unfortunately. But it was also like a very, very close final, and it could have been the other way with like one hang comes through or something. So it was not off. And yeah, honestly, I had the expectation of being last or maybe fifth, uh, going out of that tournament, and we actually came up second and like stomped our team way on the whole tournament. And that shows, I think, that you can reach a lot in those knockout tournaments if you like can build on the momentum that you
Mm-hmm.
eventually gain.
Yep.
So I really like that, and I highly recommend watching paintball videos. Um, Go watch some dynasty footage from the huddle. It's like insane how they can hype each other up and then deliver, even if the everything is against them. They still can deliver, and that's what I love about the sport. You know, if you are there with passion, you can make it, and you can even make every opponent fall, no matter how big the name is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that will allow for way more action and for way more like interesting games. So I hope to see everyone there. I think you're still muted.
My bad. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about what you just said. Coming out there on that, to start a tournament on a loss can really hurt a momentum, and that is good, man. How that to build that momentum back, because I know most people are like, I want to go home. Like I just want to go home, especially right at the gate, like something's wrong. Um, yeah, it's always a bad thought. I mean, it's just it is what it is. I mean, I try to look at things like that. Sometimes you just win some, you lose some. Um, we used to take. Well, I'd say for this, at least hang on, some of us on the team used to take these tournaments so serious, like so to heart.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the more we played, the more we went to. Sometimes we still do because there's still a passion to it, and we're still grown men out there being competitive. Uh, but I think genuinely, I don't know, man. I don't know. We
I
just
think
we
that
just try to show up and play. That's all I know.
I think that there is a moment where you can really like put your finger on and say, "Yep, this team understood it, and everyone on the team picked it up, how it works and what is needed to be a winner." I think is when you play. Of course, everyone wants to play,
Yeah,
and no matter how equal you are in a team, there will be always like people who you consider more consistent, better, more accurate, whatever, faster,
yeah,
and there will
absolutely.
be people who will be in the like second line more. Of course, you need all of them to win. But what that actually in reality means is that maybe in the finals or maybe in a crucial game, that it's important that the best five start and that you, as maybe the sixth guy, say, okay, let them play. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
You get less game time, of course, and you paid for it, so to speak. But having that understanding in a team that everyone, and that's literally like
Hmm.
everyone would die for each other, means that you are able to reflect your own position and to project your value for the team in that
Hmm.
specific moment. Also, can be that like someone who is having the worst tournament says, "No, I'm mentally not there. I cannot get my shit done." And normally he claps everyone, but in this case he steps back, allows someone else in, and that can be the deciding factor. And like if you have that, and I'm pretty sure you will see that at some tournament,
Hmm.
if that clicks, you can really say, okay, this is a winning team, and with this team, you can win tournaments.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you got starting players. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I mean, um, like you just said, some guys are better at certain things. I can think of teammates that are a lot better at things than I am, especially our pistol players. Hell, I say some of our youngsters, hell, they can sit back there with a rifle and eat you up, or run and dive and do all that. I'm like, hey, you got a leg up on me, because I'm just gonna
Hmm.
stay back here. I'll dive a little bit. I'll get in there, but I don't go the same way. Um, which I mean, it is what it is, man. I mean, I make sacrificial moves when I have to. I mean, I got no problem with that. Um, which I think that's kind of an important thing too. But the versatility is something we've talked about doing because I've played some tournaments with pistols, but I don't hone in on it like I do a rifle, and
Hmm.
a lot of us need to. And we was talking about that, man. All of us being pretty comfortable with pistol or rifle, so we can jump back and forth if we need to. When our pistol players come out, hey, grab pistol. He grabs a rifle. Now you're in there for him. And normally being a primary rifleman in the back or anything.
Hmm.
I think that versatility for us needs to be there. Be ready for any position. Uh, but I don't know, man. We got a lot to learn with it as well. We will see. I mean, so we will
Yeah,
see.
as I said, like the stage we are in right now, or the US is in right now, it's a big playground. It's try and error. Just see what works, make those experience, and based on that, judge for the next time if it worked well or not, because that is important that you develop, that you analyze your mistakes. When we come over, there will always be a cool stream. So definitely make a streaming evening out of it with the team. Just meet 1 week later or what in a garage in the living room of someone, if that's possible, and just review and analyze. Okay, in this situation, why did we lose a point? We were up like with two buddies. Why did we didn't score or something like that?
Hmm.
And if you really put in the after work, it will pay off. It will pay off. I
I,
can only repeat it.
I'd agree with that. I've reviewed stuff, and I was actually talking to a buddy yesterday about, sometimes we're talking about GoPro footage. Sometimes your GoPro seeing things that you didn't even see. It's like, how did I not, going and put it in Premiere Pro? I'm starting to look. I'm like, how did I not turn and shoot, dude? And every time
Hmm.
I do that, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, because I was tunnel vision. I was locked in. Sometimes my GoPro is just literally,
Yeah,
peeking
that's yeah.
something I can't see. Sometimes that's the case, but then there's been times I'm just like, man, tunnel vision, tunnel vision. Um, or I even hear out a call or something like that, or a buddy, one of my teammates, I call out something, and it's just like sometimes they get in tunnel vision. So
Hmm.
we try to correct each other on that kind of stuff. Just checking each other. Um, sit back and watching. And that's a good thing with us, man. It's, the A and B. We strategized against each other. When B was playing, we're strategizing against B. I mean, it might be PBZ on a jersey, but not today. You're PBZB. I mean, we're PBZA,
Yeah.
so we're two different things. Strategizing against each other. So it's kind of cool that we're used to playing each other. Now we're gonna mingle. So it almost feels like two teams mixing, but it's one name. So it's gonna be pretty interesting.
I'm just waiting for the moment one team has one guy never plays a game, only plays 1v1s as like the field goal kicker. I don't know what that guy's
Oh,
called
he's
in
that
football,
guy.
but but just bring him in like the
That
absolute
guy, the
one v
guy
one
with
beast.
like the biggest honkers in the room, like that guy. We're bringing him in. When he walks through the death tunnel, people hold their breath. That's that guy right there. That would be kind of cool though. Just well, I guess. I mean, but that's your job, like your special teams. Like you come in for the 1v1 only.
I mean, yeah, it can make sense in a specific situation, of course. It's very unlikely at the moment, but why not? Like, I'm sure we're gonna see the wildest stuff out there, and I can't wait to just see what happens and what people think or not think in situations on
I'm
the field.
and
Like,
I'm wondering who it's gonna be. Who's that? I mean, that'd be awesome to see. Like that's literally all he does. But he comes out there and rocks him every single time.
hmm.
Like be a beast like that. You know, that'd be kind of cool. I mean, I'd want to play a little bit more than just a 1v1, but uh, that would be cool. It is. It is in theory possible. So you're the kicker.
Yeah, but I think your team will be fine. I mean, you are following NSL basically since the start, and you witnessed the Sac County tournament yourself, and Leo was there as well. So you have a good idea of what is needed,
Yeah.
and I think that will give you a starting bonus a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit.
Yeah, it definitely gave us a little bit of
Um,
an edge
I
for
mean, we
sure.
saw that with the lounge event on the Saturday, as you said. There were like crazy results, like 2-0 or 2-1 or 3-2, like where there was no hang at all. and we were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, okay, it can happen for
Mm-hmm.
sure if you have some like some teams super being like aware of what the other is trying to do, and everyone is just holding their lines and the
Yeah.
time goes by, but not in that frequency. Like, there's got to be a hang somewhere in a game, and it wasn't. So it was cool to see that those results didn't happen that much on Sunday. So there was a clear development, and people started to care about the flag and not just running by the flag as it is some
Yeah.
useless stuff. It's like the most valuable thing on the field, and it will take some while, but that's basically what the next year is all about. And yeah, we're gonna see some cool moves. I'm pretty sure. And after those four events, the championships will be on a complete different level um, compared to the first events. So yeah, it's gonna be
I
it's
think.
gonna be interesting.
Hey, I don't know how many teams are going to show up for this one in January yet. I mean, hell, it's like a lot of teams right here registering and doing stuff at the last minute. Um, I mean, I know there's a couple confirmed. I'm assuming. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's going to be probably between 8 to 12. That's my opinion.
hmm
It could be
I think we
closer
already hit like 8 or 9 signups, if I'm
for a shot
correctly
zone.
informed. Yeah, for short zone.
Yeah,
So
then
that's already pretty decent, and we still have like months to go.
yeah, I figured it was going to be somewhere in there. Um, I mean, for his inauguration tournament last year, gosh, we had like 22 teams, 21, 22 teams out there for that. So Shadzo knows how to bring them in. I mean, it's a good field. A lot of people like to come to, so I don't think it's going to be much of a problem for teams.
I mean,
Um,
the price, of course, is a little bit of something new. Let's put it like that. And as we discussed, like playing 2 or even 3 days is also new. But you really get something for your money, I think. And if you
oh,
break it down to game time and to game time, what you have on a normal like center flag tournament, you get way more with this, especially when you count the Friday in where you have free pickups, like you can play for free literally.
yep.
Um, so I think that's pretty nice concept, and people will like we saw it in Sac County, we saw it here in Europe. People have big mouths, and then they play like 1 or 2 games, and they will, how can you do that for like 10 or 15 minutes?
I know
So
the.
don't skip your cardio.
I know this. We've got a little bit of a for us that's been playing tournaments at Shot Zone for the last little bit because he does the SXL. So we play the on that clock, and we was originally I think it was a 12-minute clock, and then it went to
hmm
10, and then 8. I think it is now. And that was our first little kind of opening to that because we were so used to the 3-minute clocks with SpeedQB, and then
hmm
shifting into that, and then it's like, wait a minute, you got 12 minutes and then a minute between each, and this was a period of over playing through this year, and we enjoyed it. We enjoyed that clock. When to use the clock as your advantage, when it is your enemy. um, that can change very quickly. But yeah, definitely a whole lot more game time. Now obviously, we didn't do the offense, defense, things like that. We just kept going out and playing and playing and on this clock. Um, Other
Yeah, it
mercy
makes.
rules. But that.
We're gonna add a mercy rule as well, which is like not likely to be matched, but if it happens, then we put an end
Mm,
in that match. I don't know the specific points. Like we still have to update the rules, so there's something the next weeks will happen, and nothing major, just a couple here and there. And we obviously release it with patch notes, like a video game, so you can look into the rules and see immediately what has been changed, so you don't have to read all of that again and probably overlook something. So you can clearly see, okay, this point has been improved or changed, and this and this and this. Um, so yeah, that's for a lot of teams for sure a new experience, but I think it makes and yeah, a game or a tournament way more fun because it's also not depending that much on your first round. If you have a little bit of a slow start, you still can come back, and it's not like do or die. And I
Yeah.
think on the long term, it also helps. Like I don't like to call it cheating, but no calls, etc. Because yeah, fuck it, you have like 8 more minutes to get everything sorted, and combined with the hard punishments that we have, it makes like no calls or cheating on purpose definitely way less
Yeah.
feasible.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that. I think there's, I mean, there'll be all kinds of penalties thrown. I mean, if the refs are doing their job, and that's not the intentional
It
cheating, that's the
happens. It's
penalty.
part
Yeah.
of the sport. It's part of the sport. Like you have to get to the point that you accept that it's part of the sport.
Mm.
Of course, you don't, or we don't encourage it by no means. But and you will see good players, like really good standout players, pick up way less penalties than like a new team. That has mostly to do with field awareness and with like general understanding of it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm duck in my low in my bunker, I know that I can't get shot.
Hmm.
But if I'm like not able to judge, or if I get shot in the back, but I'm playing home, yeah, that's not a direct hit.
Yeah.
Um, but that's like hit management that you have
Yeah.
to
Knowing the
get, and
difference. Yeah, I agree with that.
so that is a huge thing, and that's also why we want to have just one field layout for all the official events, to make it more comparable, and also to give or to not give a home team an advantage. So at your local field, you can train on that specific layout, and it's kind of the same when you travel or when you come over to Europe for the global. So it's not having to look for basic angles. Meanwhile, the team that plays there for half a year knows everything.
Yeah.
Of course, every field is a little bit different. We are not quite there with 100% measurements, but the overall field approach will play out the same, not differently. And I really like that. That's also some extra motivation to watch a live stream, for example. How
Hmm.
like the European guys will definitely watch the US events. I hope it will be the other way around, just to see what are they doing. Like, is Snake really that good or that bad, or is Plexi so strong as everyone said?
Hmm.
And yeah, you can get so many like different ideas out of it. That's really cool, I think.
I like that. And I know you ain't bullshitting either when you say, I mean, we talked about that. I hit on it a minute ago with reviewing kind of, my POV on the
Mm-hmm.
GoPro, but thinking, that Monday before we left, out there hanging out with y'all at the Airbnb with the, Bert showing out
Mm-hmm.
on the grill and things like that. But when we showed up, everybody, well, not everybody, but most of the guys were down in the basement reviewing footage. Very next day, um, kicked back on a big screen, man, and I was like, that was just really cool to kind of see how
Yep.
much focus and dedication the entire room had to, it's having a good time, but it's also it's work, it's crunch time. What do we do, And the thing is, they won. Well, y'all wasn't there with her, but so y'all competed. You know what I mean? I'm saying in the first and second, but just thinking of Team Monk in there, I was thinking of Demi and the way he was. Oh my gosh, I started listening to it. I was just like, bro, you won, but it didn't matter. Y'all was still in there reviewing everything and then checking it.
No, it matters for sure. Like even winning could be worse than losing, because losing might be okay. We couldn't fix that, but with winning, you still want to be better because you know
Yeah.
there's a next time and the next time, and he especially knows that there's a big bounty on his head that still needs to be
People trying to
taken
cash
by
in a bounty,
someone.
huh?
Yeah, yeah, man, this man is crazy, and it's like a blessing that he's still able to play for the sport. He's just, yeah, he's on another level. Like it's unmatched. Like his skills. I would consider myself as a good player, but to get on his level, like you cannot get there that fast.
He's a good player.
I'm sure we were gonna see people in the future, young guys now, that when they get older and more experienced, they might gonna reach his level or overreach it, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna
That's
say
how
some
every
one of these days somebody's gonna come in there and smack Demi around. I'm gonna have to message Demi. I'm like, someday somebody's gonna do it.
I think he's gonna try to win everything next year and then retire. and then say, "Yep, unbeaten, bye." But yeah, it can happen. Like the competition here is also like everyone wants to win against second to none, and they know it, and it's a huge pressure for them. And eventually, that pressure, like, at some point, it won't work out.
Yep.
And as I said, it's single elimination. If you had one big, or if you want to do one big mistake, it can cost you the game, and there's no second chance. Of
Yep.
course, you don't lose the whole series from it or anything, but yeah, maybe not winning the tournament.
Yep. It's a lot riding on it. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure, boy. I'd I'd almost feel like I'd throw up. I'd be next to my teammates up there. I'd lift up my mask, go, cold field, just throw up real quick and go about my way. I'm like, man, this is a lot of pressure, bro. Um, I mean, globals, you know. I mean, I ain't saying that's where we're going yet, but I'm gonna say we're gonna fight our asses off. We're gonna shoot the shit out of some people to try to get there. Believe that.
That's what I hope so.
Believe that. How it works out, I don't know. We're gonna see.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I think we've all pretty, knuckled up when it comes to January. We all kind of have said it. We're gonna play stupid. We're gonna, well, not as in the stupid of saying, in a wrong way, but in a passive way. Like, we want to go out there and go dumb. We want to really play our best that day,
Hmm.
and really come out there swinging. Just for us too. I feel like we help, kind of crutch the situation, with there of help, try to bring a name to it and stuff. And I know a lot of people look at us. A lot of people know our name over there,
Hmm.
which is cool. No, Shot Zone's not our home field for those that thought it was. um, but I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, especially with the traveling part. I mean, we've talked about things we're going to do, so we're going to try to hit up CIA and Rhode Island next year. Hopefully,
Hmm.
we'll be able to do
That is
so.
amazing. I mean,
Hopefully,
that shows dedication. I know it's like we spoke about it, but just to say it again, yeah, that shows real dedication. And I know it's not easy, not cheap, especially in these times. Like everything is crazy expensive.
yep.
But if you are somehow able to do that, maybe just one or two events, even on the long run, you will profit so much from it as a team. Yeah, I can promise you that. And it makes your team also way more attractive for sponsors, which is like on the long term what you want to like generate.
Oh, for sure.
Because um, I can assure you that we raise some awareness with all those companies, and they it's time for them to reinvest, and the best way for them is to do that into the actual players, to rep their stuff and to support them. And but of course the teams and people need to understand that it's not coming for free, you know. I think that's something people might misunderstand, just because you have like 1,000 followers on Instagram or anything. Like, you're not a big star, you're not important, you don't matter that much. It's what you post and what you show and what you have to show. And if you attempt those tournaments, you have a lot to show, you know.
Hmm.
And just give a random guy, give your girlfriend, whatever, a camera in the hand, just film it and upload it on YouTube.
Yep.
It has a huge impact. And or just the most simplest way, just play good. Like, if
Yeah.
you win a tournament, like, you get all the attention, like, you will be displayed everywhere, like, people will talk about you.
Hmm.
You're gonna be on the web page, like, leading the table, etc. And if then everyone sees, oh, that team is connected to this and this brand, that's the best advertisement you can get.
Yep.
And like, with that kind of deals, it also keeps you in the loop. Like, you cannot quit, because then you're gonna lose the relationship with your sponsors. So that is like a super important thing to keep in mind, that there's even more stuff to gain and more stuff to show up for.
The content thing's for sure important. I mean, for sure, especially with brands and things like that. I mean, People are gonna. I mean, these companies are gonna want your content out there. They're gonna be a sponsorship. They're well, let's say a good one. That's it. Them investing in you, and you investing in them. There's a trade off there. You rep their name, and they represent you. And I think that's pretty crucial too, especially also behavior on the field. I think
Yeah, of course.
every man should have his some woof. I mean, it is a competitive world, but you know I think there's a limit to that when you start having
Mm-hmm.
these names on them jerseys. You know what I mean? Uh,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I mean, it's always something to think about. I mean, I guess everybody wants these big sponsors and stuff, but the big sponsors are watching you.
Start on a small basis. Like there are so many one or two man companies that played airsoft that had a cool idea, and they start eventually their own business with it, and they want to get involved, and maybe they are not big enough to get involved with the NSL directly, but 100% they have something left over for you to like
Yeah.
help you out. And even if it's just $200, that's like a third or half of the tournament fee, whatever. Like every dollar helps really. And if you get like two, three of them, it's basically tournament fee paid and a BB's paid or something, or get a BB deal or something like that. Like doesn't need to be the we're gonna fly over there and there for free. Like of course that's not gonna happen for the first time you ask for it, but like we hope that we can pave the way with the NSL to like an evolution of sponsorships. Because if you look how sponsorship work right now, it's we got 10% discount on their products on that page, but they still earn money on you buying their product and you're doing free advertisement for them. Like that is not a sponsorship. And like your jersey, your Instagram account, your webpage, your Facebook page, whatever it might be, it has a value. And
Hmm.
if you put a company's name on there, they somehow need to compensate for that. Like you shouldn't give it out for free because you are not that small guy. You are basically like the important part as a player, or the most important part in that, because without the player and without the teams we cannot do that.
Yep. I agree with
And the
that.
companies know that. They will just, of course, if I can get it for free, why wouldn't I take it? But if you stay strong and say nope, you have to give us something, um, then it like divides uh, real sponsors from like just people who want to cash in on your costs.
Ain't that the truth? And a little bit of that too can be. I mean, um, I say it to my. I think some people are either over hot headed, thinking they're the shit, or a lot of people are modest and don't give themselves enough credit. I think there's a lot of players I meet that do not give themselves enough credit for how good of players they
Hmm.
are. Um, they don't see it. Some are a lot of like modest, um, which is a good thing. It's a good characteristic. It really is. Because I can't stand a
Of
hot-headed
course,
asshole
like
that thinks he's the shit. Like, let's go out here, bro.
staying humble is like key, but that doesn't mean you don't or you have to sell yourself short, or you have
Yeah.
to understand what value you have. And as you said, like if you're gonna make it to all those three events, and I know that you're gonna play the championships, like there's no way that you play that bad, um, that you're gonna miss on those. Like that is huge. That is a huge stage. That is big spotlight on you, and you have a story to tell as a team. Um, so yeah, that is stuff that you can sell, so to speak, to certain companies. And as I
Mm-hmm.
said, start small. Like the best example so far to me is the Spanish national team. They came over to Real Strike from Spain, which is like I don't know, more than more than 1,000 miles away, so it's not easily done. Um, and they had a sponsor like wall. They had, I think, 9 or 10 sponsors, and most of them gave like a little bit here and a little bit there. And with that, they will be able or were able to execute their trip and almost pay everything out of it. And they came with like 12 players. I think two coaches, a doctor, Vinitas himself. Like there were almost 20 people. Um, but they really understood, and Vinitas did an awesome job before the tournament of getting those companies in and asking for, as I said, $200 is way easier than asking for 2,000 because that is a big
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah.
So it's just those things where I hope that eventually some of the US teams will understand it and start to understand it, that this is needed in order to achieve a more professional sport. Because we can all host a normal tournament on your local field, and it's cool, nothing against that. But with the NSL, we aim at a globally connected system and at a more professional sport. And as you said, who knows? Maybe in a few years, people will get paid, so to speak, to invest their time
Hmm.
uh, into training and to kick people's asses,
That'd just be
or at
cool.
least,
That'd be
yeah,
hella cool.
of course it is. Like it's the dream, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but even though like what's a little bit more realistic on the short term, like compensate or have all your costs compensated.
Hmm.
Like if
That's
you,
money. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, if
yeah,
there's anything they're
you
covering,
just
it's money I don't have to spend out of my pocket. So either way, I look at it as money. If you're giving us from air to BBs to belts
yeah,
to mask, whatever the case is, it's money you didn't have to spend in that direction. Um,
exactly.
Always a plus.
So yeah, I'm. If anyone needs help, just ask me, because I've been through the process as well, and it is definitely possible. And not every manufacturer or every shop or whatever it might be is understanding it, but there are more and more of those companies understanding that the time shifts a little bit and that teams, yeah, have that value we spoke about, and they want to get involved. And if they are smart, they see it and they see how big it grows, and they have to be involved because otherwise no one will buy their shit. Yeah, I
Facts.
mean,
That's truth, though. You
it
say it for
is
what it
simple.
is.
Like,
This
I
is what
mean,
it
we
is.
saw that in the paintball world. Dynasty moving to JT, and now everyone is wearing JT masks.
Hey, JT, I'll let your boy. I'm just saying.
See, like, of course, it comes from somewhere, and I know for sure that JT paid big boy money to get that. But that just shows, like, when you're a good team, that you have a value. And if you break that down just on a small base, it's already there for us in the airsoft world and in the speedsoft world. And I think, um, or you have to see it as a long time investment. Of course, the entry fees are higher than everyone is used to, but we with the NSL hope to like offer the best possible package for the moment. And we need to have like those standout material. We need to have the live stream in a proper way. We need to have full tournaments, and then we can attract sponsors, and then we can hand out big prizes. Then we can hand out, you know, I can say it. We are aiming that the winner of the US Championship gets their costs covered for coming over for the globals. So
That's a
big
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 thing.
news drop. I'm just spoiling it here. Like
Yeah, that's
nothing is set in stone yet, but I'm just saying we're gonna do that. And who knows? Maybe we can arrange stuff for the second and third place as well in a certain system. Who knows? And this all depends on how many people view the stream, how many teams attempt to those events. Like if every event is booked out, hell yeah, we have more like room to do that if it's just on 8 teams all the time. So
yep.
yes, everything is a little bit new, expensive, etc. for everyone, but it's like an investment.
Yeah, but I mean, we kind of broke it down. I mean, I understand for the more numbers you have of teams, you can split that up. We're taking this entry fee and dividing it by 10. So now we're like, well, damn, that's about damn near every entry for everywhere else we go.
Hmm.
So, you do the math, breaks down. I mean, more players you got. Um, so I mean, it was what, $600. So that's $10. We broke it down to what, $60, and it goes up a little bit for the 20. So I mean, what, $65 or so, and that's not bad. I mean, it's really not bad between each player like that. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
Opposed to five players where you got to come up with $125 a piece.
For
For
one day.
yeah. So you're like,
I mean, of course, it sucks when you are eliminated in group stage and you have less games. It's just the nature of the game. But
yeah,
if you just want pure game time for your money, and if you really like put that much value to it, just go play CQB, just play skirms. Like we are in a competitive scenario. We are not playing for fun in that regard. Like we want to see who's the best. And if you're shit, you're shit. Like work on it.
there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, every team comes out as, no, I ain't gonna say every team. Some teams come out just swinging, like surprise the shit out of you. But I mean, like you said, man. I mean, some teams are just, it's okay. Just be humble. Just come out there and get your ass whooped. I mean, sometimes if you jump in there with the Lions, then what do you think was gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, but it's, it's a good way to learn. I mean, in honesty, if you can keep that I guess that ambition to want to learn, and playing teams that's literally going to go out there and they're going to whoop your ass. Like, bring it back, line it back up, let's do it again, run it back, because that's how you're going to get
Mm-hmm.
better when you play in them. If you play a equally shit team, well, you're getting better, but you're polishing a turd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Opposed to actually, talking to other teams. I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but guys pretty good at something. Hey, man, how are you doing that? How are you peaking that? You know what I mean? Going
That,
at a lot of people
yeah.
that I know, they're gonna tell you. I mean, most people are pretty friendly. Some might,
Yeah, that is also like an amazing side fact about our hobby that I've figured out for myself as well over the years. Like almost everyone is so friendly and so helpful, especially in the speedsoft scene, because it's still smaller than the normal regular airsoft scene. And it's in a way also a compliment, and if you compliment someone, hey, you're doing something good, it like normally makes those people like feeling good, and then of course they have like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna tell you, little boy, how it's done in a way. And yeah, just ask. That's how everything grows. And I think everyone who is like in the higher stage or has like a certain level is more happy to see if they get questions to how improve stuff, because it's the future, and if you
yeah,
really like care, then you care about those things as well.
hell yeah, hell yeah. Well, I'm gonna bring this video itself to a wrap. I want to chit chat with you a little bit after this. Um, I think YouTube's trying to get the best of me right now. But for the record, always for this thing, I'm gonna say thank you. Um,
You're welcome.
it's always nice to do these. Since you're doing what you're doing, and you've said you're going to be hitting all these NSL events and stuff like that. Hopefully, maybe I can get you back on here later on, talk and
Hmm.
then see how it's developing and things like that. So, but I do appreciate you there. Um, YouTube, thank you. And those few comments and people that have seen us. I appreciate your time in here as well. And I don't know when this is gonna happen again, but we will see because I don't set out schedules anymore. I ain't doing that. uh, but I appreciate y'all in the comments, especially you tacos. I see you in there. And I will catch y'all in the next one. Fives don't go nowhere because I'm about to talk to you.
Yep, see you soon.